Race for me.
Well, crowdfunding, you've heard of Kickstarter.
Oh, yeah.
Well, crowdfunding is the same thing. In fact, Kickstarter is a form of crowdfunding. It's anything you put together to get money from lots of people who want to help you, whether it's asking all of your friends or putting an ad in the paper saying, hey, I need some investors in this, or going to something like Kickstarter. So this is a relatively old phenomenon because we've always had, public support for different businesses.
Oh, sure.
That's what the stock market is. But we're doing it in a different way these days. And so crowdfunding has brought a lot of things into our world. And I've got some of those success stories. So that's
nice.
That's really all I need to tell you there.
I like that. I like when people are happy.
Logan Clark is coming out at 9:35. Let me tell you, it's not so easy to get guests this time of year, but Logan agreed to come on. He is a heavy hitter, too. He is a regular guest on 60 Minutes, 48 Hours, Inside Edition. He's been on the Larry King Show when that was still around. Entertainment Tonight. Hard copy, Rick Dees?
Rick Dees? Yep.
CBS News, a current affair. Anyway, he's going to talk to us about childhood abductions, the recovery of abducted children, and the reuniting of children throughout the world with their custodial parents. Fascinating story and heartbreaking and warming at the same time. It depends on which story he's referring to.
And there is going to be a movie made about his life, and Pierce Brosnan is one of the executive producers and has a part in it. So, I mean, you're talking James Bond here. Pierce Brosnan was one of the James Bonds. So,
all right, well, let's go.
Logan Clark is,
So I'm glad he's coming in this morning, or on.
Yes.
Auto Repair with Personal Care, that's Matt Gibbs' program. He is taking the day off, so it is a rebroadcast today. So looking forward to listening to that. Congressman Richard Nugent, I don't know. Sometimes it's a rebroadcast, sometimes it's live. 2 days before New Year's, you never know. You never know if Congressman Nugent will be live or not, so I'll tell you, if you hear the date at the beginning of the show and it's not December 30th, then you'll know it's not a live show. And then 11:05, I have something I want to share with you that I just find so fascinating, and perhaps there's just a prank that got out of hand, and it is called the Toynbee tiles. Have you ever heard of the Toynbee tiles?
No, Toyn, T-O-I-N?
T-O-Y-N, the Toynbee tiles.
Toynbee tiles.
These are tiles. These are tiles that they're finding in the roads anywhere. Well, it could be in North America, down in Mexico, down in South America. They're finding them in the roads. Kind of embedded in the pavement, and they've got messages, sometimes in Spanish, sometimes in English.
Really?
That basically say that the resurrected dead are on Jupiter.
Okay.
I know. It's crazy. Obviously, a prank.
I'll be walking the streets today looking for them.
But it's a fascinating story that nobody seems to be taking credit for, nor does it seem to be a publicity stunt. It's been going on since, I think, 1985.
Okay.
Let me see if I have that right.
The dead are on Jupiter.
Yeah, 1985. Yeah, and it's an interesting thing, and then it refers to Toynbee, who is a man from history, and I'm going to tell you who he was when we get there to that segment, and you got to wait till 11:05 for that. But anyway, the Toynbee tiles. If you're impatient, you want to look it up. I guess you could do that. Toynbee, the Toynbee tiles.
Is Toyn and Bee 2 words or one word?
One word. It's a guy's name. The Toynbee tiles. Yeah. Well, let me see if I can have that. Hold on.
Okay.
Who is Toynbee? You might say. Okay.
Yeah, this is fascinating stuff. Yep.
All right. Well, I'll tell you who Toynbee is when I get there.
There's a song about being on Jupiter.
Yeah, I know. Yes.
Maybe that's on the tile.
Toynbee. Here he is. Toynbee is Arnold Toynbee, a 20th century British historian and government consultant whose works are mainly concerned with the rhythm and common denominators found in the rise and fall of civilizations throughout history. He was also a highly religious man and held beliefs about the essentially good character of the human race that came through in his works and theories. What that's got to do with these mysterious tiles that are showing up, I don't know. But we'll do that. All right, and then our segment with Dan today, because Dan's coming in to do Fun with Joe, because Joe's still up in the Carolinas somewhere, probably cold.
Yes.
And Dan's going to come in. I've got some more, and this is, because it's Dan, questions about movies that came out in 2013.
Okay.
And it's all trivia from movies that came out the year that's almost done. All
Oh,
right?
cool.
And then finally, our segment with Galen, which
Yeah.
is really only a half hour from now, but I always tell you about it last because it's I always save the best for last.
Yes.
I have some wacky New Year's Eve ball drops across the U.S.
Oh, okay.
tomorrow night in New York City, there will be a ball dropped in Times Square. So it's probably I don't know if it's the first ball that ever dropped, but for some reason that's become the way we ring in the new year by dropping a ball.
Yeah.
Well, there are some others, and I've got them across the USA. America will be dropping things, not always balls.
I can't wait to hear about Key West.
Anyway, it's fun. It's a fun thing. Well, Key West, I think you know that one, right? That's a transvestite in a slipper.
A slipper,
or something.
yeah. That's the funny one.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Ocala used to have a ball drop. I think they dropped it one time, and what happened to it, I have no clue.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What kind of ball was it?
Yeah, I think it was like a big orange or something
Just
like
an orange?
that.
Huh.
Yeah, but that was, I think, during the year 2000. So I don't know what happened to it after that. I know they had something.
Tried it, and nobody showed up for it, maybe?
Probably.
Well, could be.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, the first thing we're going to do today after Pastor Smith is talk about the 10 best. And among the 10 best are places you might want to go tomorrow evening if you want to go party somewhere. I've got the 10 best party spots. Now, these are voted by people who've been here either as visitors or who live here.
Uh-huh.
And
Cool.
so there you go.
That's awesome.
All right, so let's see. The weekend. What did we do this weekend? We
Rehearsed our new shows.
rehearsed the music because we put the Christmas songs away.
Yeah.
And now we're rehearsing for, what is it called again? St. Patrick's Day.
Yep. And our 40 show.
We never end, right? The show from the 1940s.
Yeah.
And it rained this weekend.
Yeah,
so,
it did.
So
Could go to Silver Springs.
Did you feel that it was an end of the year kind of a feeling? Did you feel that or not really?
Not really. Not really. Like my whole days, they like kind of are all lumped together. So, I don't take my Christmas down till January 6th, and everything's still day after day after day. It's not the end of the year feeling for me yet.
And your son posted some photos, or his wife did, of your son up in New Jersey. Was he in New Jersey or upstate New York? Where'd he go?
They went up to New York, about an hour north of where they live. They went up to New York tubing in the snow, and
enjoy
it's
the
just
snow.
so cool. Yeah, we tube in the water here, but up there they tube in the snow, and everybody looked like they were having a fun time.
I think they tube in the water too. It's just the wrong time of year, right? Did you when you were a kid? Did you go ice skating on the lake? You lived right next to Lake Michigan, right?
Yeah.
Did that thing freeze over?
Yeah, not all of it. You
Oh.
just had like a little bit, but there were a lot of smaller lakes and smaller ponds that were all frozen over in local parks,
And
they were really great.
Do any of the Great Lakes freeze completely over?
I can't answer for sure. I would imagine not, because there are still cutters out there and everything. So I can't imagine not, because there are signs posted in various parts. As further away you go from the shore, do not enter thin ice. That type of thing. So they keep everything well patrolled.
All right, I looked that up. The Great Lakes do freeze, but not completely. Which is what you just said. Mm-hmm. The Great Lakes have come close to freezing over completely during the extremely cold winters of 1976 and 77. How about that?
Wow.
With up to 90% ice coverage.
Yeah, but it doesn't necessarily mean the ice is thick, though.
As for Niagara Falls, the volume and speed of the water flowing over the falls prevents them from freezing, as does the ice borne at the mouth of Lake Erie.
Oh, okay.
But I seem to remember seeing photographs of Niagara Falls totally frozen.
Really? So the falls stopped? They were all frozen?
I wasn't there.
Wow.
Wow. For photographs of historical ice bridges of the falls, go to Edson Breyer's Postcard Museum. I guess you got to go there.
Oh, okay. I'll go there and check it out.
All right. So the end of the year. The end of the year is here. Any resolutions in your works that you plan on adhering to? Anything you're going to do before the end of the year that you're going to stop at the end of the year?
Oh, I have no clue. Is there anything you thought of that you're going to do?
Yeah, I think I overdo bread, so I'm gonna.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna cut back on bread. See, I don't smoke anymore, so that's good.
No, yeah,
But
6 years now.
Is it six or 7 years
6 or
ago?
7,
I quit at this time of year.
Yep.
Right between Christmas and New Year's, and then and I had a cold, and you know why? I mean, since I stopped with the cigars, the colds have gone away knock on wood.
Wow, that's great.
Haven't had a
Well,
whole
yeah,
lot
your
of that.
respiratory tract, smoking affects that too.
All right, let's see. Pastor Walter B. Smith is coming up right now, and then after Pastor Smith, we are going to talk about the 10 best, and we'll kind of start with Ocala, and then we'll branch out to other cities and see if you have any requests. You want me to look things up? I'll do it for you, and that'll happen right after Pastor Smith with his feature, "Bring Back the Bible." And I'll tell you later. We don't have enough time. This is The Source, WOCA.
Good day to you, and welcome again this morning to Bring Back the Bible. I'm Pastor Smith. One of the most famous voices on radio, Paul Harvey, began his broadcast career when he was just a teenager living out there in Oklahoma. His personal style made him a fixture on stations across the country. One of the best-known features was a series of broadcasts that he did that he called The Rest of the Story, which ran for more than 30 years. Harvey would tell part of a well-known story without revealing all the details, and then he would fill in the background information that explained what people knew and reveal whose story he was telling. And he would say, "Now you know the rest of the story." Well, Christmas might be over, but Christmas is sort of like that. The parts of the story that are most familiar to people are wonderful, but they are not the full story. Jesus is more than a baby in a manger, and he's more than our Savior. He is also coming again to rule over this entire world. Isaiah the prophet said of the increase of his government and peace, "There shall be no end upon the throne of David, and upon his kingdom to order it, to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, even forever. The zeal of the Lord," Isaiah said, "will perform this." That's Isaiah 9 and verse 7. Many people in the world think that the baby of the Christmas story is the one who will return. But at his second coming, he's going to come back as Lord of Lords and King of Kings, according to Revelation 17:14. Evil will be banished, and with perfect justice, he is going to rule the world.
Hey, I'm Gary.
And I'm Eric.
Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6 a.m. every weekday. Call us 866-90-RED-EYE. So join me, Gary McNamara,
And me, Eric Harley, every weeknight to discuss the latest in news and entertainment.
right here on WOCA The Source.
How good does it get?
Golf has long been considered to be sport's most prestigious game, and WOCA has your connection to everything in the golf world. Every first and third Thursday at 10 a.m., tune in for Let's Talk Golf with your host, PGA professional and teacher to the stars, Jim Beckett, and operations manager for the Links of Spruce Creek South, Darren Irwin, right here on The Source.